Hey everyone, it's Mallory here with Cats.com, and my cat Wesley is wandering around in the room. You might spot him occasionally. And yeah, today's video is all about the best freeze-dried raw cat food on the market. So I wanted to talk specifically about freeze-dried raw cat food rather than raw cat food in general, because freeze-drying food offers a few advantages over a typical frozen or just completely fresh raw diet. So unlike heat processing, it allows all of the nutritional benefits of raw food to remain intact while also making the food safer and also making it shelf stable. So this makes it a really convenient and appealing option for those of you who want to enjoy the nutritional integrity of raw food without subjecting yourself or your cats to the risks that come with it. So in order to figure out which products were the best, I purchased 11 different products. I tried some of them with my cats, and I sent a number of them off to a lab. I wanted to find out if these foods had any bacterial contaminants, if they contained any other contaminants like heavy metals, and I wanted to find out if they lived up to the nutritional expectations set by the guaranteed analysis. So my first recommendation is a relatively new entrant to the freeze-dried cat food market, which is Open Farm. So Open Farm's freeze-dried raw food offers a few things that I think make it a little bit better than the competition. One, Open Farm as a brand in general is committed to transparency and quality sourcing, and it seems that they're living up to those promises. So you can track the sourcing of every product you buy. They also promise to use more ethical sourcing compared to other brands, which obviously is a very nuanced and complicated area, but they do seem to be upholding that better and adhering to concrete standards established by third-party organizations. So you can feel that the food is coming from a more ethical place. And then from a nutritional perspective, the food is doing really well. So in my lab tests, I found that while the fish-inclusive recipe did contain some heavy metals, which is to be expected, the food didn't contain any other contaminants like salmonella or E. coli, and the macronutrient composition was really good as well. So their chicken and salmon recipe, for instance, contains primarily chicken muscle meat, some liver, and a variety of additives that can help to round out the nutritional offering. Another thing I liked about this food is that my cats enjoyed it. So it has these small nuggets that are pretty easy to rehydrate, and they seem to taste pretty good as well. Now, it is about the same price as the other freeze-dried foods on this list, so it's going to cost about $4.17 a day to feed this food if your cat weighs about 10 pounds and needs roughly 200 calories a day. My next recommendation is a little bit more well-known than the Open Farm food, and it is Stella and Chewy's dinner morsels. So they offer a wide variety of flavors. I'm going to be looking at the nutrient composition of the chicken recipe, but you can get it in rabbit flavors and a wide variety of other protein sources. But what I like about this brand is that the recipes include a nice variety of muscle meat, organs, and bone. It also contains added prebiotics and probiotics to support digestive health. And it seems like compared to some other raw foods, it contains enough fiber to support healthy digestion, which is something that sometimes is lacking in these types of foods. The reason why Stella and Chewy's didn't make it to the very top of my list is because I feel they're not doing quite as well in terms of transparency. So when I was writing my original review of Stella and Chewy's, I tried to reach out to them and get some information on the phosphorus content of their food, and I felt they were a little bit hesitant to share details that other brands were a lot more forthcoming with, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth with Stella and Chewy. So I don't feel that they're the most forthcoming, again, brand from which you can purchase, and so I'm docking a few points for that. But other than that, they seem to offer really high quality food. Nutritionally, these foods also look really good. So for instance, their chicken recipe is offering nice high protein content, minimal carbohydrate content and moderate levels of fat. Ash looks a little bit high, but that's to be expected from a bone-inclusive recipe. You're just going to, as always, watch out if your cat has any special dietary needs that could make that a problem. At about $4.19 per day, their chicken recipe is moderately priced compared to other freeze-dried foods. Again, a little bit more expensive than the average food in general, but not extremely expensive as far as freeze-dried foods go. My next recommendation is the freeze-dried patties from Vital Essentials. So my cats love these patties. The nutrition offered by this food is quite good. Now, the reason why I'm not ranking them higher on this list is because they tend to be unusually low in fiber. So my lab test found that the food was just 0.3% fiber on a dry matter basis. This could potentially lead to some constipation in certain cats. Additionally, the food does not contain real animal bone, yet it is moderately high in phosphorus. So you're not getting the kind of nutritional authenticity of a bone-inclusive diet. So some of you who are looking for a raw diet might be hoping to have bone in there, and this food just doesn't. However, it does offer a nice variety of animal-derived ingredients. It is very low in carbohydrates, as confirmed by my lab report, and it offers herring oil as a good source of omega-3 fatty acids. So overall, it is a really nice species-appropriate recipe, but I would be a little bit concerned that it could constipate some cats. You might want to add a little additional psyllium husk powder or inulin or some other source of prebiotic fiber. These Vital Essentials patties cost $4.36 per day for a typical cat. The price is going to get more expensive depending on which recipe you use, so if you're picking one of the more costly recipes, it could go up to as much as $10 a day, which is incredible. My next recommendation is their mini nibs. So Vital Essentials offers these little hard nibs of freeze-dried food. So it can serve as a kind of transition point if you're moving from a dry diet to a wet diet or a raw diet. When I sent it to the lab, everything checked out. I wasn't seeing anything unusual, and the nutritional composition is looking quite good. So you're getting low carbohydrate content, high levels of protein, moderate fat. As usual, this food is relatively high in phosphorus, but nothing really unusual for freeze-dried food. But again, the fiber content is quite low. So if you are feeding this as a standalone diet, you're probably going to want to supplement with something that can kind of bulk up the fiber content, especially if your cat's prone to constipation or other digestive issues. At about $3.14 per day, this is the cheapest freeze-dried food on this list. My last recommendation is one that I think is going to be well suited for cats with sensitive stomachs. Northwest Naturals freeze-dried food, specifically their turkey recipe, is going to be a really good alternative to chicken-based foods, which are common irritants for cats. Besides the fact that Northwest Naturals offers a nice variety of single protein recipes, they include some added fiber sources. So we're getting dulse powder, we're getting psyllium husk powder, we're getting inulin. It also contains salmon oil as a source of omega-3 fatty acids, which can help to fight inflammation. So all of these things come together to make a really nice food that can help to support digestive health and perhaps be well suited to cats with GI issues. Everything checked out in my lab test, and overall it seems like a really strong option. At about $4.50 per day for a typical cat, this is the most expensive recipe on this list. So that's about it for my list of the best freeze-dried raw food on the market. Again, I tried a variety of other foods to make this list, and I'll put the names of all of the products I tried in the description. Interestingly, all of these foods came back clear of concerning bacteria or anything that could present an issue for you or your cat. Now remember that these are freeze-dried foods, but once they're rehydrated, they're raw foods, and they need to be handled with the same amount of caution and care that you would any raw product. So you're going to want to wash your hands thoroughly. You're going to want to clean any surfaces that came into contact with the raw food. Let me know in the comments if you've tried a freeze-dried raw food and how it has affected your cat. Do you think that there are benefits to this type of diet? I would love to hear about it in the comments. So thank you again, and as always, there will be links to the products mentioned here in the description. So yeah, really appreciate that you're here, and I will see you in next week's video.